Okay, so this is kind of on my, I guess you could say, my series of making your visits entertaining to your horses. I enjoy working with my horses in their stalls, whether it be engaging in an affectionate moment, or making puzzles for them, or even taking opportunities to do those close. So many things that we want to teach our horses for like longer distances. For example, like if I want my horse to move out on a circle, from say being six feet away from me, I might say, I'd like to increase that to 8 to 10 feet away from me. How can I do that? How can I tell my horse, I would like you to now go 8 feet away from me while they're in motion? Like, can I give them some kind of verbal cue to say, I would like you to now increase the size of the circle? Well, yes, I can, and it would be something that I would teach them close up first. So like if I was to ask him to step away from me, like say I want, to be in his space, I may say away, 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 and I'm going to ask him to move away. So he didn't choose to move as far away, but he got the right idea. Away was something that I was looking for. I will leave him alone for that, like to go back to what I was doing. Now, if he were suddenly to get in my way, now of course I would definitely take advantage of that. He's pretty good about when you come into a stall, he doesn't really tend to get too overly involved in where you are as far as occupying the same space as you, which is nice. It makes it easy to do the stall. So, like in his case, I may try to engage him and then change it up. Like say I'll try to invite him to me so then I can ask him to go farther, so then I can utilize my intention to say I'm going to tell him to go away from me. So I may invite him to me. Now the trick is you got to make sure that when you invite them to you, you don't suddenly just say, okay, now go away. Because then it seems like you told them, no, that was the wrong answer. You want to make sure it does not read wrong answer to them. So, like in his case, since he's way over there, what I might do is I might tell him to come over to me. So I might say over, over. And what I'll do is I'll make sure that while he's over here, come on, honey, bring your honey over. 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 So I'm positioned where I want the tail to come my way. Good job. You can do a little bit more. Over a little bit more. Over. Over. He's probably wondering why I want him that close to me, so I may step away again. Over. 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 I'm poking him in the neck to make sure he understands that I'm talking to his tail. Over. Over. Tias. Good boy. Over. See, I'm rewarding the rock by saying good boy. Okay, so now I'm going to sit here and say, absolutely, that was exactly what I wanted you to do. It's exactly what I wanted you to do. You did nothing wrong. Because the next thing I'm going to tell him is I want you to go away from me. So it's the opposite, but if I did it too close to my asking him to come over, I could potentially damage my over command because I could tell him, come but don't. I can make it seem like I'm punishing him for having come over to me. So now I might say, I gave him a nice little scratch on the hiney, now he wants to actually come over to me. So I might say, away, away. Now it's the same thing, but I want him to go away from me. Away. Good job. And now I'm going to tell him that that's exactly what I wanted you to do. It's exactly what I wanted you to do. Yes. It is exactly what I wanted you to do. My goodness, you're shedding. Okay, so I might say, okay, now over again. Over. Good, and that's exactly what I wanted you to do. And I'm going to reward him for doing exactly what I asked him to do. Okay, now I'm pretty certain that he believes he's been rewarded, so now I'm going to tell him, away. 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 I still want more because he can give me more. Away. I'm gonna ask his shoulders to move away, away. So I'm gonna ask more for his shoulders to go away. There. Okay. And where you put your focus is where the body part, that responds. So if I want just him to move his front end away from me, I would put all my focus up here in front of the drive line. This would be your drive line. And I would ask his feet to cross over away from me. So if I was to put my energy here, he'd cross away from me. Away. Away. Good job. Okay. So now we've got him up against the wall. So let's go ahead and tell him, yes, you did a great job like that. And let's see if now, okay, my energy for over, I'm going to stand at his rib cage. And I'm going to block his head from coming around to me because he gives me his attention and he gives me his head towards me, but I want to block him from putting his head towards me, just so I can help him understand that I'm looking for his entire body to come over. I'm going to put my focus right here, and I'm going to ask his entire body to come over to me. Over. Block his face. Good. Over. Over. Now I'm going to invite his shoulder because I overblocked his face. I'm going to ask his shoulder to come to me. Over. Good job. So, you can also do it on either end. It's very important that you ask your horses from both sides to do things for you. So like this is still, I can ask him to over this way. So I would change hands. So I would block his face, ask his tail to come over, over, over. One hand is active, one hand now is active because it's saying, no, 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 that. There you go. He heard the no, I was telling you, but he heard the no, so he hesitated on this. So let him know that that was what I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and ask him, actually, to bring his hind end one more step over. So I'm hoping that his shoulder will stay where it's supposed to based on the response to my blocking him with my hand. I'm going to put my hand here, I'm going to say over and see if I can get just his hind end to come this way. Good job. Now I didn't ask him to leave with the other. So you got to be careful how much influence you put on the other body parts. So my hand maybe was offering too much of a gas pedal to the front end, telling the front end to move away. So he didn't walk his front end away instead of just maintaining a hold on it. So I'm going to ask him to go away now. Away. Away. So I'm focusing on his rib cage. So now if I reach him, I'm going to poke his rib cage. Excellent. Good job. And I'm going to tell him how great he is for that, okay? So you want to make sure that 5 seconds ago I said come here, and now I'm saying go away from me. You don't want to give that horse the frustration of make up your mind. You don't want your horses to ever imply to you that you are not worth hanging out with because you are scatterbrained. You never know how to make up your mind, okay? I want my horses to always think that I know how to make up my mind. I wanted you to do that. That's why I'm over here loving you. Okay, so now I'm going to say over. I'm going to block his face because it's coming first. Good job. And this time, did you notice I put my other hand down faster? Because this way I didn't see he's much more straight. Last time he came a little more influenced with the hind end because I was putting too much energy on his front and caused him to think he was supposed to move the front away as well. Okay, this time I'm going to tell him to go away. Away. So now I'm putting energy. Nope, he got confused. So I offer a poke. I'm going to put energy on his front end now. Away. Away. Good job. Good job. Good job. And then once they understand it, you can go back here away, not your head. Good. Over. Over. Good job. Okay. And now if you don't want to look at his tail, wait, I'm going to go ahead and ask him to spin completely around. So I'm going to stand way up here by his shoulder. So I don't know if you can see me. I'm going to stay way up here by his shoulder, and I'm going to influence only his hind end. So nothing up here is anything but neutral. That means don't move anything up here. But I want to put influence or request on the hind end, and I'm going to ask him to spin around. So I'm going to ask him to over from where we are right now. Over, over, over. Good boy. Good. Now I might tell his front end to go away, away, away. Might stop him there. Ah, leave it. And now I'm going to tell his hind end to over this way. Over. Good job. Now maybe his whole body. Over. Nope, your shoulder too, hon. Your shoulder too. Here, here, here. Tears. Here. Good boy. Yep, yep. Here means 2 eyes. Here, here. But I'm trying to invite him, but he's not getting it. So I'm going to try to step out where he understands it better. Look. Tears. Okay, so he got confused and he's decided to leave and play with the bucket. I'm going to invite his here. Tears. Here. 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 Good boy. So I didn't get 2 eyes, but I got a come to me response. There it is. Good job. Yep, finish it. You can finish it. Good job. Good job. So, and he's kind of cool because if you tell him that, you know, to ask you for what he wants, and of course what I'm doing right now is something he would love to have. So if I were to stop and say, would you like me to do that again, he'll kiss me. And then I'll go ahead and give him what he asked for. So, want that again? Want that again? Okay. Oh, that's okay too. You want that again? You want that again? You're gonna look for another way to ask for it? You can do it here. Yes, of course I'll do that for you again. That, you want that again? I thought you did. So now let's see, his water bucket's right behind him. I don't want to ask him to back up. So I'm going to ask him to over to me. Over. Good. And your front too. Your front too. No. And your front. Okay, so he's confused. I'm going to go ahead and remind him, yes, you were right with the hind end, so I'm going to just go ahead and reset the hind end up. Now he's got the front involved. Good job. There you go. Over. The muck bucket's over here, so he may be worried. Here. Over. At least come as far as you were. Over. Good job. Good boy. Okay, so now he's a little confused. You're all right. He moved up because there's a muck bucket here. So I'm going to ask him to back. 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 Good job. So I'm not quitting on what I wanted to do, I just wanted to set him up better, so I'm going to ask him to over now. There it goes, okay, even with the muck bucket there, he trusted me enough to believe that his hind leg is right up against it. That is really what I was looking for. Did you like that? Yes, good job. Okay.